Welcome to Nature's Glory Cabin Off-Road Edition. It's the last day of the Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway meet, 9/16/2023, and this is the first trail we did of that day, Spas Creek. As you can see here from the map, we started out at Cowdish Campground. We went a little differently this time. We went down Highway 11 and then across 77, went through the Nada Tunnel, and as soon as we crossed the bridge, we made a left onto 613, and we followed 613 all the way up to Spas Creek, and here's where we turned on to Spas Creek, and it ends up on 713 in Menifee County, where we head towards the second trail of the day, which was County Park, which I combined this day 3 and that day 2 since I did it twice. So here we are on Spas Creek. We're coming up to the first, somewhat of a little obstacle. It's a drop off into a mud hole. We kind of come up out of that creek and we go over it. I sped this up about double speed. Normally you can make these trails in about an hour, but on a ride it usually takes 2. Here's the rear view of that and going over that little spot. And let's see if we got the guy behind me coming through it. There he is. I'm just showing the highlights. In this video I've showed the full trail many times. This trail hasn't changed much. The water may be a little deeper here and there, but everything is pretty much the same as it's been all year long. A little more rain, puts a little more water in the mud holes. None of them get real deep. There's a couple that appear deep, might be up to close to the top of a 33-inch tire, but most of them aren't. This is considered a fairly easy ride. This is a step up probably from McKay Fort Bald Rock. This is a 3-ish, 3.5. There's a tree we're going under here. There is another way to go around this, up and over the bank, and we've done that in the past, and I'm sure you'll see that in other videos. And here's that from the rear view of the other vehicle coming under that tree, the XJ. You actually have more clearance than you think you do. It puts you off camber a little bit and leans you toward that limb, but just get up that hill a little bit and you'll have plenty of room. And there are a few holes that are deeper than others. There's ones a little longer. That one's not too bad. It's about halfway up a 33, which should make it about 16 inches. And there's a few, one right after the other in a few spots. Again, I sped this up. We're probably going 2-3 miles an hour, maybe. And we'll show that water hole from behind. These have good solid bottoms. You don't have to worry about mud for the most part here. All of these holes seem to have very solid bottoms, and you don't have to worry about sinking in the mud. That's on this trail. Always remember, things can change. So be prepared for that. Don't do these trails alone until you know them very well. I've been on these quite a bit and have still seen changes. Here's another place. We've met some people from a ride coming the other direction. That right side there where they're sitting is a little flexi spot. This side over here is pretty level. So they had that side tied up, and I thought I'd leave this on, let you see a whole bunch of the rigs. We got our rigs, and then we're going to see some of the other rigs from that other ride come through here too. We're going to back in here and get out of the way while everybody comes through. And you can see they're going to go down that left side, but they might go down the right, we'll see. The left side, the direction they're going, is the flexi side, and the other side is, you can see it when you get there. It's actually much more smooth. And we're going to back in here. Again, I said get out of the way. And here's some of the rigs coming through. Things like this are what can throw your timing off. You think you're going to be in a hurry. There's no sense in being in a hurry on the trails. There can always be something, from just running into people and needing to get out of their way, or a tree could be down. And remember, these are the woods. A tree can fall at any time. It doesn't take a storm. And it looks like now that other group's going to work their way through. Hope if you knew anybody, you saw somebody you knew. May not have been in that group, but here we are. We're getting ready to take off. Now this is a pretty good sized mud hole on the other side of that. It's not very deep today, but it can get more water in it. The left side is a bypass, but it's on private property. I see somebody went that way. You're not supposed to get onto the private property. And anyway, this hole isn't that bad. A little bit of a drop off, not much of one. Mostly stock vehicles can do this. I would recommend at least all terrains. I mean, it isn't going to hurt to have a little bit of a lift, but you work your way through it. Most of the spots you can get through. Here's what that looks like from the rear. Not much water in that mud hole today. We're getting to the big one. It's coming up. That first one is just a little teaser. I say big one. None of these are monstrous. You can see I just drove right through it. And you can see the water there is about halfway up a set of 33s. Maybe not that deep on this day. There are a few spots you got to watch out for. There is a bypass in a spot. Water's a little deep here. This is a little longer area with a little deeper water. There's an area up here that we bypass around. We won't see it on this video, but one of my previous videos, it's a pretty good drop off. And you can make it if you're equipped fairly good. I have seen some stock FJ make it, but it's you'll need to be spotted. I wouldn't do it alone. I know that I've heard people have done it alone accidentally. When you get up in there and don't realize where you are, it's harder to back out than just go over it, so be careful. And we got some mud hole from the rear camera video. And here's a little spot that I guess we're going to have a little drop off here, and we'll see how that looks. Probably see it better in that left front wheel camera. Again, none of these are real hard. This is about a 3.5. This is where you start needing a little better equipment as opposed to a stock vehicle. Again, some stock vehicles do better than others. You can see I'm going to go right over it. Now we're going to go on up the creek. We'll see what that looks like from behind here. I was squaring myself up to that, so I went straight over and didn't get off camber. And there you can see how high it is above the bumper. Call it 3 feet. You can see the guy standing there almost up to his waist. We're going to run right on up here, and this is the, it's not the end, but it's where we have a little waterfall. Sometime be straight ahead, and to the right is what I call the chute. It's a area that you climb up some rocks that have been eroded, and it's a relatively easy spot to get up. You have it 4-wheel drive and just let it do its thing. When your back tires get up next to it, try to maybe bump it a little bit. You see there he's got his tires hung on that a little bit. He'll get up. Of course, depending on your wheelbase and how much lift you got, you could close to dragging. We had a person drag a little one other time in a stock vehicle. see how I do here. I think I just go right up it. I didn't go fast enough. See, I'll bump it here and then I'll get right up. There's a few more rocks up this hill. We're probably going to look at this from the rear view camera. I think when I get up here far enough. Probably when I stop. Might be too far to have a good view. Now here we are, of me actually coming up that. And you can see the attitude is it's pointed down. You see the depth of the rocks there and the narrowness of that. If you're in a bigger vehicle, a full-size truck or something, you'll need to get squared up good to get through that because it's pretty tight. And you see he came right up it. And now we're heading on up. There's a few more rocks and a little more mud. We're going uphill now. Coming up out of the creek area toward the end. We're still not quite there yet. We still have a little bit more to do. There's a little bit of flexy spots here and there. There's a few rocks. There's a hill with some rocks that is not that hard to negotiate, but you may need to do some tire placement so you don't hit a differential or something like that. And it looks like now we're coming up to the big mud hole at the top. It's not very full of mud at the moment, but you climb over this and it pretty well puts your nose down. And you occasionally might drag your trailer hitch as you pull through it. You can see on the left front wheel there, it's not as deep as it usually is. It's been dry this summer. Again, this is September, so it's still pretty dry. And you can see that there's dirt there where the water is, so it's real low on this day. And let's see what we've got here for rear view. See that rocky hill and a little bit of rut there. See a little bit of mud. And we're working our way up toward the mud hole. That rear camera gives you a little better perspective sometimes because it's closer to the ground. And here it looks like I'm getting ready to nose over into the mud hole here pretty soon. And I forgot to turn that full screen, so that rear view camera there is going to stay narrow. But you can see here where I'm going into the mud hole. And you can see how deep it is. Water on that end's a little deeper. And we pull right on out of it. Again, depending on your clearance, steps may have a problem with this. Anybody with steps, Toyota Tacomas that have that step rail on the side, that step that hangs down, they tend to dig into the dirt. I've seen them quite a bit dig into dirt. Anything with a step on it is going to lower your ground clearance, may cause you trouble. You may only dig up dirt, or you may lose a step. I've seen both. Can't see it in this picture, but on the left there's a bunch of rocks along the top up there. One of them is kind of a red looking rock. It looks a lot like a small version of Devil's Market House Arch. I do have a video of the hike to Devil's Market House Arch on this channel, and better pictures and video of that actual arch. And I stuck this picture up in the right hand corner now from the rear camera. We're not a lot going on right now. We got a little more rocky hill, I believe, to go up, and then a little bit of twisties, and we'll see where we're at here. You can see we get a little rocky here. You can see there's a little bit of a rut. You can see the car in front of me bouncing around a little bit, and I bounce around. Watch the hood on mine, and that'll give you a better idea of how rough it is. These image stabilizing cameras make everything look smooth, but it's not. But it's not real bad either. And here coming up that, you might be able to see those rocks a little better. They're just a little rough. They're none of them real big. It's just a little rough. Okay, here's some washouts that kind of gives you a little flexy to go through here at the end. I say end. This is where the official trail marker is right here. It's just off to the left. You see it standing there. Get a quick look at it. You might see it in the back camera when we swing around here. And everything from here is smooth sailing the rest of the way out. It's pretty much just gravel road once we get past this. There's those ruts I was talking about. Again, this has been sped up. And we're going to swing, there's the sign right there. It marks the beginning of Powell's Creek. And we're getting here to the end. It's all gravel road right now. We're going to come out on 713 and we're going to go right on 713 to County Park Road. Hope everybody's enjoyed this. Come back for more. Thanks for watching.